The autumn morning at Windsor Castle carried an unusual tension that seemed to hang in the crisp October air like an unspoken warning. Queen Camilla adjusted her pearl necklace nervously as she prepared for what should have been a routine royal engagement. The event was supposed to be simple, a family gathering to celebrate Princess Charlotte's recent achievements at school, followed by a traditional afternoon tea in the castle's oak-paneled drawing room. Camilla had been queen consort for over a year now, but she still felt the weight of scrutiny that came with every public appearance, every gesture, every interaction with the younger members of the royal family. Today felt different, though. There was something in the way the household staff moved about their duties, something in the careful arrangements that had been made, that suggested this was more than just a casual family occasion. Princess Charlotte, now 11 years old, had grown into a confident and spirited young woman who commanded attention wherever she went. Her resemblance to her late grandmother, Princess Diana, was becoming more pronounced with each passing month, and the public's fascination with her continued to grow. The media had been particularly interested in documenting her interactions with various family members, especially since King Charles III's coronation had established a new order within the royal hierarchy. The Princess of Wales, Catherine, had spent the morning ensuring that Charlotte understood the importance of the day's events. While it appeared to be a simple family gathering, there were always underlying protocols and expectations that needed to be observed. The royal family operated according to centuries-old traditions and hierarchies that could not be ignored, even during private moments. As the family members began to arrive at the designated meeting place in the castle's blue drawing room, Camilla found herself observing the interactions between the different generations. King Charles III appeared relaxed and jovial, clearly delighted to spend time with his granddaughter. Prince William maintained his usual composure, though there was a protective alertness in his demeanor that Camilla had noticed whenever his children were present in formal royal settings. The room itself had been carefully prepared for the occasion. Fresh flowers adorned the mantelpiece, and the finest china had been selected for the afternoon service. Every detail had been considered, from the placement of the chairs to the selection of refreshments that would appeal to both adults and children. The household staff had worked meticulously to ensure that everything would proceed smoothly. Charlotte entered the room with the natural confidence that seemed to characterize all her public appearances. She was dressed in a navy blue dress with a white collar, her hair neatly arranged in a style that was both age-appropriate and fitting for a royal occasion. Her bright eyes took in the assembled family members, and she offered polite greetings to each person present. The conversation began with the usual pleasantries, discussions about Charlotte's recent school activities, her involvement in various charitable initiatives that had been deemed appropriate for someone of her age, and her growing understanding of her role within the royal family. Camilla participated in these discussions, but she couldn't shake the feeling that there was an undercurrent of expectation that she wasn't quite understanding. As the afternoon progressed, the family moved through the various planned activities. There were photographs to be taken, documents to be signed related to Charlotte's future role in certain royal patronages, and discussions about upcoming public engagements that would feature the younger generation of royals. Charlotte handled each aspect of the proceedings with remarkable poise, demonstrating the training and preparation she had received. During a quiet moment between the formal activities, Charlotte approached the area where Camilla was standing. The queen consort had been admiring a particular painting that depicted one of the castle's previous royal residents, and she was momentarily lost in thought about the history that surrounded them all. The weight of tradition and expectation seemed particularly heavy in that moment. Charlotte moved with the natural curiosity that children possess, drawn perhaps by something she had noticed or simply seeking to engage with the adults around her. Her approach was innocent and genuine, reflecting the comfortable family atmosphere that had been established for the afternoon's events. There was nothing calculated or planned about her movement toward Camilla. the moment that would later become the subject of much discussion and analysis, began innocuously enough. Charlotte, in her natural and unguarded manner, reached out toward Camilla. It might have been to touch a piece of jewelry, to get attention, or simply as a spontaneous gesture of connection. The exact motivation would later be debated, but in that instant, it was simply a child acting according to her impulses. What happened next would transform the entire atmosphere of the afternoon and create ripple effects that would extend far beyond the walls of Windsor Castle. The seemingly innocent gesture became the catalyst for a demonstration of royal protocol that few had expected to witness in such a private family setting. The guard, who had been positioned discreetly in the corner of the room, had been watching the proceedings with the trained attention that his position required. Royal protection officers were always present during family gatherings, though they typically remained as unobtrusive as possible. Their job was to ensure the safety and security of all family members while allowing normal interactions to proceed without interference. This particular guard, whose name was Thomas Wellington, had been serving the royal family for over 15 years. He had witnessed countless family interactions and had developed an instinct for reading situations and understanding when intervention might be necessary. He was known for his professionalism and his ability to handle delicate situations with the appropriate level of discretion. When Charlotte reached toward Camilla, something in the moment triggered the guard's sense of protocol. Perhaps it was the formal nature of the day's events. Perhaps it was his understanding of the complex hierarchies at play. Or perhaps it was simply his interpretation of what he believed to be the appropriate boundaries between family members. Whatever the motivation, his response would change the entire dynamic of the afternoon. The command came swiftly and clearly, cutting through the gentle murmur of conversation that had been filling the room. The words were directed specifically at Camilla, and they carried the weight of official protocol and authority that could not be ignored or questioned in the moment. The instruction was simple, but profound in its implications. Everyone in the room heard the guard's direction, and the immediate silence that followed demonstrated the shock and surprise that his intervention had created. This was not the kind of interruption that anyone had expected during what was supposed to be a relaxed family gathering. The formality of the command contrasted sharply with the intimate atmosphere that had been carefully cultivated for the afternoon. Camilla's reaction was immediate and telling. Despite her position as queen consort, despite the year of experience she had gained in her role, she found herself responding to the authority in the guard's voice without question. The protocols that governed royal behavior were deeply ingrained, and even she was not immune to their power when they were invoked so directly and publicly. The instruction that the guard had given was both specific and symbolic. It was not just about the immediate moment or the particular interaction between Camilla and Charlotte. It was a demonstration of the complex power structures that existed within the royal family. Structures that sometimes superseded personal relationships and individual preferences in favor of established hierarchies and protocols. As Camilla moved to comply with the guard's direction, the other family members watched in stunned silence. The ease and comfort of the family gathering had been replaced by a tension that no one had anticipated. The careful planning and preparation for the afternoon had not accounted for this moment, and no one seemed quite sure how to respond or what to expect next. Princess Charlotte, despite her youth, seemed to understand that something significant had just occurred. Her natural confidence was tempered by an awareness that the dynamics in the room had shifted in a way that she might not fully comprehend, but could certainly sense. The innocent gesture that had initiated the sequence of events now seemed to carry much greater weight and importance. The guard maintained his professional composure throughout the incident, but it was clear that his intervention had created consequences that would extend far beyond the immediate moment. His understanding of royal protocol had compelled him to act, but the ramifications of his decision would continue to unfold in ways that none of the participants could fully anticipate. King Charles III's expression revealed the complexity of his position in the situation. As the monarch, he was the ultimate authority in matters of royal protocol. But as a father and grandfather, he was also deeply concerned about the family dynamics that were playing out before him. The balance between public duty and private relationships was once again being tested in the most unexpected circumstances. Prince William's protective instincts were clearly engaged as he assessed the situation and considered how to respond in a way that would serve both his daughter's interests and the broader needs of the royal family. The careful balance that all senior royals must maintain between their personal feelings and their public responsibilities was being challenged in real time. The afternoon that had begun with such promise and anticipation had taken a turn that no one had foreseen. The simple family gathering had become a demonstration of the complex power structures and protocols that governed every aspect of royal life. The incident would be remembered and discussed for years to come, serving as a reminder of the intricate web of relationships and expectations that defined the modern monarchy. As the immediate shock of the moment began to settle, it became clear that the consequences of this brief interaction would extend far beyond the walls of Windsor Castle. The Guards' intervention had created a situation that would require careful management and consideration from all involved parties. The delicate balance of royal relationships had been disrupted, and restoring harmony would require wisdom, patience, and careful attention to the complex dynamics at play. The afternoon was far from over, but already it was clear that this day would be remembered not for the celebration of Charlotte's achievements, but for the unexpected demonstration of royal protocol that had taken everyone by surprise. The true test would be how the family navigated the remainder of the afternoon and the longer-term implications of what had just occurred. The silence that followed the Guards' intervention seemed to stretch endlessly, though in reality it lasted only a few seconds. Every person in the blue drawing room was processing what they had just witnessed, trying to understand the implications of the moment and how to respond appropriately. The comfortable family atmosphere had been shattered by the sudden intrusion of formal protocol into what was supposed to be a private gathering. Thomas Wellington, the guard who had spoken, maintained his professional stance near the doorway, but even he seemed to recognize that his intervention had created an unprecedented situation. His 15 years of experience in royal protection had taught him to follow protocol without question. But this particular moment was unlike anything he had encountered before. The intersection of formal royal hierarchy with intimate family dynamics had created a scenario that no training manual could have adequately prepared him for. Camilla stood frozen for several heartbeats, the weight of the guard's words settling over her like a heavy cloak. The instruction he had given was clear and unambiguous. She was to show proper deference to Princess Charlotte. In the context of royal protocol, this meant acknowledging Charlotte's higher position in the line of succession through a formal gesture of respect. The command had been delivered with the authority that came from centuries of established tradition. The Queen Consort's mind raced as she processed the situation. She understood the protocol that was being invoked, but the personal humiliation of being publicly corrected in front of the family was almost overwhelming. Her hands trembled slightly as she realized that she had no choice but to comply. The guard's intervention had made it impossible for her to ignore the hierarchical realities that governed even the most private royal interactions. Princess Charlotte watched the unfolding drama with wide eyes, her natural intelligence allowing her to grasp that something significant was happening, even if she didn't fully understand all the implications. At 11 years old, she was already well-versed in many aspects of royal protocol, but seeing it applied so directly and dramatically in a family setting was a new experience for her. The confidence she had displayed throughout the afternoon was now tempered by a growing awareness of the complex power structures that surrounded her daily life. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, felt her maternal instincts surge as she observed her daughter being placed at the center of such an unexpected situation. Her role as Charlotte's mother was complicated by her position within the royal hierarchy, and she found herself torn between wanting to protect her child from the complexities of royal politics and recognizing the importance of Charlotte understanding her place within the system. The careful balance she had worked to maintain between Charlotte's childhood innocence and her royal responsibilities was being tested in the most public way possible. King Charles III's expression had grown increasingly serious as he watched the situation unfold. As the monarch, he was the ultimate authority on matters of royal protocol, but as a father and grandfather, he was deeply concerned about the family dynamics that were playing out before him. The guard's intervention had been technically correct according to established protocol, but the timing and public nature of the correction had created complications that would need to be carefully managed. The specific words that the guard had spoken continued to echo in everyone's minds. "Your Majesty, Princess Charlotte requires the appropriate acknowledgement of her position." The formal language had transformed the intimate family gathering into something resembling a court ceremony, complete with the rigid hierarchies and protocols that governed official royal functions. The contrast between the afternoon's intended casual atmosphere and this sudden formality was jarring for everyone present. Prince William's protective instincts were fully engaged as he assessed the situation and considered how best to support both his daughter and his stepmother while maintaining the dignity that his position required. His military training had taught him to remain calm under pressure, but this was a different kind of crisis, one that involved family relationships, public perception, and the delicate balance of royal responsibilities. The decision he made in the next few moments would have implications that extended far beyond this single afternoon. Camilla took a deep breath and began to move toward Princess Charlotte. Her years of training in royal protocol guided her actions, even as her personal feelings struggled with the public nature of the correction. The gesture she was about to make was not just about this single moment. It was a public acknowledgement of the hierarchical realities that would shape all future interactions between herself and the younger generation of royals. The curtsy that Camilla performed was technically perfect, executed with the precision that years of royal training had instilled in her. She lowered herself gracefully, her head bowed in the traditional gesture of respect that protocol demanded. The movement was fluid and dignified, demonstrating her complete understanding of royal etiquette even in this most challenging of circumstances. The silence in the room seemed to deepen as everyone watched this unprecedented display. Princess Charlotte's response to the curtsy revealed both her natural grace and her growing understanding of her role within the royal family. She acknowledged Camilla's gesture with a slight nod, her posture straightening as she seemed to instinctively recognize that she was being treated with the formal respect that her position in the line of succession demanded. The poise she displayed in that moment was remarkable for someone so young, suggesting the effectiveness of her royal training and her natural intelligence. The emotional impact of the moment was visible on everyone's faces. The household staff who had witnessed the interaction maintained their professional composure, but it was clear that they too were surprised by the turn of events. Royal servants were accustomed to observing complex family dynamics, but this particular incident was unlike anything they had seen before. The formal protocol that governed their professional lives had suddenly intruded into what was supposed to be a private family moment. As Camilla completed the curtsy and returned to her standing position, the dynamics in the room had fundamentally changed. The casual conversation and relaxed atmosphere that had characterized the early part of the afternoon were gone, replaced by a heightened awareness of rank and protocol that would influence every subsequent interaction. The invisible hierarchies that always existed within the royal family had been made visible and undeniable. The guard's intervention had achieved its intended purpose of ensuring proper protocol was observed. but it had also created a situation that would require careful management in the hours and days to come. The public nature of the correction meant that word of the incident would inevitably spread beyond the immediate circle of witnesses. Palace officials would need to consider how to address any potential media attention while protecting the privacy and dignity of all family members involved. King Charles III finally broke the silence that had settled over the room. His words were carefully chosen, designed to acknowledge what had just occurred while attempting to restore some sense of normalcy to the proceedings. He spoke about the importance of protocol and tradition while also emphasizing the love and respect that existed between all family members. His tone was measured and diplomatic, reflecting years of experience in managing complex royal situations. The conversation that followed was markedly different from the easy exchanges that had characterized the earlier part of the afternoon. Everyone seemed more conscious of their words and actions, aware that the casual family dynamic had been replaced by something more formal and structured. The spontaneity and warmth that had made the gathering enjoyable had been sacrificed to the demands of protocol and hierarchy. Princess Charlotte, despite her youth, seemed to understand that her role in the afternoon's events had shifted dramatically. Where she had been simply a beloved granddaughter and daughter at the beginning of the day, she was now clearly positioned as a future queen who commanded formal respect from even the current queen consort. The weight of this recognition was visible in her slightly changed demeanor, though she continued to conduct herself with remarkable grace. The impact on Camilla was perhaps the most significant of all. The public correction and the requirement to show formal deference had underscored the temporary nature of her position and the complex relationships that defined royal life. As queen consort, she held significant status and responsibility, but the incident had demonstrated that the line of succession created hierarchies that could not be ignored, even in the most private circumstances. The afternoon tea that followed the incident proceeded according to protocol, but the atmosphere was forever changed. Conversations were more formal, gestures more measured, and everyone seemed acutely aware of their position within the royal hierarchy. The easy family dynamic that had been intended for the afternoon had been replaced by something that more closely resembled a court function. As the formal part of the afternoon concluded, it was clear that the repercussions of the guards' intervention would extend far beyond the immediate moment. The incident had demonstrated the complex power structures that governed royal life and had created a precedent that would influence future interactions between family members. The delicate balance between personal relationships and public protocol had been tested, and the outcome would shape royal family dynamics for years to come. The lesson of the afternoon was clear. Within the royal family, protocol and hierarchy could never be completely set aside, even in the most intimate family settings. The guards' intervention had served as a stark reminder that the monarchy operated according to rules and traditions that superseded personal preferences and family bonds. The young Princess Charlotte had been positioned at the center of these complex dynamics, and her response had demonstrated both her natural intelligence and her growing understanding of her future role. As the family members began to prepare for their departure from Windsor Castle, each carried with them a new understanding of the events that had transpired and their implications for future family gatherings and interactions. The days following the incident at Windsor Castle brought a series of conversations and meetings that would reshape relationships within the royal family for years to come. The seemingly simple afternoon gathering had exposed underlying tensions and hierarchical complexities that had previously remained largely unspoken. Now, these dynamics demanded direct attention and careful management from the most senior members of the monarchy. King Charles III called for a private meeting with his senior advisors within 48 hours of the incident. The discussion took place in his private study at Buckingham Palace, away from the formal meeting rooms where official business was typically conducted. The intimate setting reflected the personal nature of the situation, but the gravity of the conversation was unmistakable. The king understood that the events at Windsor had implications that extended far beyond a single family interaction. Sir Clive Alderton, the king's principal private secretary, had been briefed on the incident through multiple sources. His role required him to understand not just what had happened, but why it had happened and what it might mean for the future. The intersection of family dynamics with official protocol created challenges that required both diplomatic skill and deep understanding of royal tradition. His experience in managing complex situations would be crucial in developing an appropriate response. The immediate concern was ensuring that all family members felt supported while maintaining the integrity of royal protocols. The guard's intervention had been technically correct, but the public nature of the correction had created emotional consequences that needed to be addressed. Balancing the requirements of royal hierarchy with family harmony required delicate navigation and careful consideration of everyone's feelings and positions. Princess Charlotte's reaction to the incident had been remarkable for someone so young. In the days that followed, she demonstrated a maturity that surprised even her parents. Rather than being upset or confused by the formality that had been imposed upon the family gathering, she seemed to have gained a deeper understanding of her role and responsibilities. Her questions to her parents revealed a thoughtful engagement with the complexities of royal life that suggested she was ready for increased responsibility and involvement in official functions. Catherine and William spent considerable time discussing how to help Charlotte process the experience while ensuring that she didn't lose the natural spontaneity that made her so engaging in public appearances. The balance between royal training and normal childhood development was always challenging, but the Windsor incident had highlighted the urgency of these considerations. Charlotte was approaching an age where her public role would become more prominent, and recent events had accelerated the timeline for certain aspects of her preparation. The private conversations between Catherine and Camilla in the week following the incident were perhaps the most crucial in determining how the family would move forward. Both women understood that their relationship would be scrutinized closely, and both were committed to ensuring that Charlotte's position was not compromised by any personal tensions. Their discussions were frank but respectful, focusing on how to maintain family unity while acknowledging the hierarchical realities that governed their interactions. Camilla's response to the situation revealed both her understanding of royal protocol and her genuine concern for family relationships. She reached out to Charlotte directly, sending a handwritten note that expressed her love and support while acknowledging the important position the young princess held within the family. The gesture was both personal and politically astute, demonstrating her commitment to maintaining positive relationships despite the formal protocols that governed their interactions. The media attention surrounding the incident was carefully managed by the palace's communications team. While details of the specific events were not released publicly, there was significant speculation about changes in royal protocol and the evolving roles of different family members. The palace's strategy was to neither confirm nor deny specific reports while emphasizing the unity and mutual respect that existed within the royal family. Thomas Wellington, the guard whose intervention had precipitated the incident, found himself at the center of discussions about the application of royal protocol in family settings. His actions had been correct according to established guidelines, but the circumstances had been unprecedented. Senior protection officers and palace officials reviewed the incident thoroughly to develop clearer guidance for future situations where family interactions intersected with official protocol requirements. The broader implications of the incident extended to questions about the modernization of the monarchy and the balance between tradition and contemporary family values. King Charles III had long advocated for a more approachable and relatable royal family, but the Windsor incident demonstrated that certain protocols and hierarchies could not be entirely set aside. The challenge was finding ways to honor tradition while maintaining the warmth and accessibility that the public expected from the modern monarchy. Palace staff noticed subtle but significant changes in the dynamics of subsequent family gatherings. There was greater attention to protocol details, more formal arrangements for seating and interactions, and increased involvement of senior staff in planning even private family events. The casualness that had characterized some previous gatherings was replaced by a more structured approach that acknowledged the complex hierarchies within the family. Princess Charlotte's public appearances in the weeks following the incident revealed her growing confidence and understanding of her role. She displayed increased poise in official settings and seemed more aware of the protocols that governed her interactions with other family members and officials. Her natural charm remained intact, but there was a new dimension of formal awareness that suggested successful adaptation to her evolving responsibilities. The incident also prompted discussions about the training and preparation provided to younger members of the royal family. Educational programs were reviewed and updated to ensure that all children understood both the privileges and responsibilities of their positions. The goal was to prevent future situations where family members might inadvertently find themselves in positions that required formal protocol interventions. International media coverage of the incident, while limited in specific details, contributed to broader discussions about the role of monarchy in the modern world. Royal families across Europe watched with interest as the British monarchy navigated the complex balance between tradition and contemporary expectations. The incident became a case study in how established institutions adapt to changing circumstances while maintaining their core values and traditions. The relationship between Camilla and Charlotte evolved in the weeks following the incident. Their interactions became more formal in public settings, but private conversations revealed a genuine affection and mutual respect that transcended the hierarchical requirements of their positions. Charlotte's natural warmth and Camilla's experience and wisdom created a foundation for a relationship that honored both protocol and personal connection. King Charles III used the incident as an opportunity to reinforce his vision for the monarchy's future. In private conversations with family members, he emphasized the importance of understanding and respecting the institutions and traditions that had sustained the monarchy for centuries. At the same time, he stressed the need for adaptability and the importance of maintaining genuine family relationships within the framework of royal responsibilities. The incident at Windsor Castle had begun as an unexpected moment during a family gathering, but its implications continued to unfold over the following weeks and months. It had served as a catalyst for important conversations about protocol, hierarchy, and the evolution of the monarchy. Most importantly, it had demonstrated the resilience and adaptability of the royal family in navigating complex challenges while maintaining their commitment to both tradition and unity. The long-term impact of the incident would be measured not just in changed protocols or revised procedures, but in the deeper understanding it provided about the delicate balance required to maintain a modern monarchy. The young Princess Charlotte had been at the center of these dynamics, and her graceful handling of the situation had provided confidence that the next generation of royals was well prepared for the challenges and responsibilities that lay ahead. As the immediate aftermath of the incident settled into established patterns of royal life, it became clear that the events at Windsor Castle would be remembered as a significant moment in the evolution of the monarchy. The intersection of family dynamics with official protocol had created a complex situation that required wisdom, diplomacy, and grace from all involved. The successful navigation of these challenges had strengthened rather than weakened the institution, demonstrating its ability to adapt and evolve while maintaining its essential character and values. 6 months after the incident at Windsor Castle, the changes in royal family dynamics had become an established part of their daily interactions. What had begun as an unexpected moment during a private family gathering had evolved into a comprehensive reevaluation of protocols, relationships, and the future direction of the monarchy. The lessons learned from that autumn afternoon continued to influence every aspect of royal life. Princess Charlotte's development during this period was remarkable to observe. The young princess had embraced her evolving role with a grace and understanding that impressed even the most experienced royal observers. Her public appearances now carried an additional dimension of formal awareness, but she had managed to maintain the natural charm and spontaneity that had always made her so appealing to the public. The balance between her royal responsibilities and her childhood had been successfully maintained, thanks to the careful guidance of her parents and the lessons learned from the Windsor incident. The relationship between Charlotte and Camilla had found a new equilibrium that honored both the formal requirements of royal protocol and the genuine affection between family members. Their interactions in public settings now followed established hierarchical patterns, but private moments revealed a warmth and mutual respect that had actually deepened following the initial awkwardness of the incident. Camilla had demonstrated remarkable grace in adapting to the new dynamics, and Charlotte had shown wisdom beyond her years in navigating the complex emotions and expectations surrounding their relationship. King Charles III reflected often on how the incident had ultimately strengthened rather than weakened the monarchy. The public handling of a complex family situation had demonstrated the institution's ability to adapt and evolve while maintaining its core values and traditions. The careful balance between transparency and privacy, between tradition and modernization, had been successfully maintained throughout the challenging period following the Windsor gathering. The changes in royal protocol that resulted from the incident were subtle but significant. Family gatherings now included more structured elements, with clearer guidelines for interactions between different generations and positions within the line of succession. These modifications were implemented gradually and tactfully, ensuring that family warmth and spontaneity were preserved while acknowledging the formal requirements that governed royal relationships. Palace staff had developed new procedures for managing situations where family dynamics intersected with official protocol. Training programs for protection officers and senior household staff were updated to include guidance on handling complex situations that involved multiple family members with different positions in the royal hierarchy. The goal was to prevent future incidents while ensuring that appropriate protocols were consistently observed. The media's long-term coverage of the royal family had shifted subtly following the incident. There was increased awareness of the complex protocols that governed royal interactions and greater appreciation for the challenges faced by family members in balancing personal relationships with public responsibilities. The public's understanding of royal life had deepened, contributing to more nuanced and thoughtful coverage of family events and dynamics. Princess Charlotte's educational program had been expanded to include more comprehensive training in royal protocol and the historical foundations of monarchical traditions. Her natural intelligence and curiosity made her an excellent student, and she demonstrated remarkable ability to understand and apply complex concepts about constitutional monarchy, royal precedents, and the delicate balance between public service and personal relationships. The international implications of the incident continued to resonate within royal circles across Europe. The British monarchy's handling of the situation was studied and discussed by other royal families facing similar challenges in balancing tradition with contemporary expectations. The incident had become a case study in successful crisis management and institutional adaptation. Camilla's role as queen consort had been refined and clarified through the experience. Her position within the royal hierarchy was now more clearly defined, and she had demonstrated remarkable resilience and grace in adapting to complex circumstances. Her relationship with the younger generation of royals had been strengthened through the process, and she had emerged as a respected figure who understood both her responsibilities and her limitations. The guard, Thomas Wellington, whose intervention had precipitated the entire sequence of events, had been recognized for his professional judgment and adherence to protocol. His actions had been controversial in the immediate aftermath, but subsequent analysis confirmed that his intervention had been appropriate given the circumstances and his understanding of royal protocol. His experience had contributed to improved training and guidance for other protection officers. Prince William's leadership during the crisis had demonstrated his readiness for increased responsibility within the monarchy. His ability to balance his roles as a protective father, supportive son, and future king had been tested and proven. His handling of the complex family dynamics while maintaining institutional integrity had impressed senior advisors and contributed to growing confidence in his preparation for future responsibilities. Catherine's role in supporting Charlotte through the experience had showcased her skills as both a mother and a future queen consort. Her ability to help her daughter understand and adapt to increased formal responsibilities while maintaining emotional support and family connections had been exemplary. Her diplomatic approach to managing relationships with other family members had contributed significantly to the positive resolution of initial tensions. The long-term impact on Charlotte's development had been overwhelmingly positive. The experience had accelerated her understanding of royal responsibilities and had provided her with practical experience in navigating complex situations. Her confidence in public settings had increased, and she had demonstrated remarkable ability to fulfill formal requirements while maintaining her natural warmth and accessibility. Public perception of the royal family had evolved through the experience. There was increased appreciation for the challenges faced by individual family members in balancing personal relationships with institutional responsibilities. The monarchy's handling of the situation had demonstrated both its human face and its institutional strength, contributing to continued public support and understanding. The incident had also prompted broader discussions within constitutional and historical circles about the evolution of monarchy in the modern era. Academic experts analyzed the event as an example of how traditional institutions adapt to contemporary circumstances while maintaining their essential characteristics. The successful navigation of complex protocols and family dynamics had provided valuable insights for scholars studying constitutional monarchy. As the first anniversary of the incident approached, it was clear that what had begun as an unexpected and challenging moment had ultimately contributed to the strengthening and clarification of royal family relationships and protocols. The lessons learned had been applied thoughtfully and effectively, resulting in improved understanding and more harmonious interactions between family members. Princess Charlotte's first major solo public engagement, scheduled for her 12th birthday, would serve as a public demonstration of her growth and development since the Windsor incident. The careful preparation for this event reflected the lessons learned about balancing tradition with contemporary expectations, and the importance of clear protocols in supporting successful royal functions. The story of that autumn afternoon at Windsor Castle had become part of royal family history, remembered not as a moment of crisis, but as a turning point that had strengthened relationships and clarified important principles. The incident had demonstrated the resilience of both the institution and the individuals who comprised the royal family, and their ability to navigate complex challenges while maintaining their commitment to public service and family unity. Looking toward the future, the royal family carried forward the wisdom gained from their experience, better prepared to face the ongoing challenges of maintaining a modern monarchy that honored tradition while adapting to contemporary expectations. The young Princess Charlotte had emerged from the experience with increased confidence and understanding, well prepared for the important role she would play in the monarchy's continued evolution. The transformation that had begun with a simple family gathering at Windsor Castle continued to influence every aspect of royal life, serving as a reminder that even the most unexpected moments could contribute to growth, understanding, and the strengthening of the institutions and relationships that defined the monarchy. The successful navigation of that challenging period had provided confidence that the royal family was well equipped to face whatever challenges the future might bring, united in their commitment to service and their understanding of the delicate balance between tradition and progress.